welcome back to another episode of Chanel in the City on iHeartRadio. I am your host, Chanel Omari, and I have such a special guest here today. She's a good friend of mine. She is beautiful. She is smart. She is an entrepreneur. She is a book author of 3 books, including one of my favorites, Heels of Steels, and she's the Real Housewives of New York City, okay? But it doesn't end there. She's also a philanthropist, and she's an entrepreneur. She's busy at work, running her big empire. Please help me welcome my friend Barbara Kavovit, aka Barbara K.
Chanel, one of my favorite people in the whole world. I wore this hat for you, darling.
How are you? You look so good.
You know, I'm just one of Santa's little helpers.
I died. What did you say? You are a beautiful Santa elf? An elf?
I am a beautiful Santa. I'm a helper. I'm Santa's little helper.
I love that. I love it.
I love the pom pom.
You're so festive, and it's so. I want to talk about because like you've built your company from the ground up, and it's also becoming like a lifestyle brand. I feel like a lot of people come to your Instagram of what do you decorate for the holidays? What do you wear for the holidays? What do you do? So can you give us a little bit some of your tips of how to be festive for this season?
Absolutely. I mean, the most important thing to me, Chanel, is being able to be independent and self-sufficient, especially in your home. So really owning a construction company and being a single mom is just one more thing that us girls have to do. You know, I mean, I want other women to be able to run they don't have to run a construction company, but whatever it is, let them be the master of their domain. So it all kind of fits together. So I have the pink toolkit, which I am so going to send you.
I need that. Yes.
You do need it in your life, girl. Let me tell you. So why is this important? Because when you open it up, you have all these different tools. So for example, a hammer. Why is a hammer in a pink case so important? It is because why would you want to ask your partner, your neighbor, your dad to hang a picture? You want to do it yourself. And around the holidays, especially, you know, you want to hang the mistletoe, you want to just make everything perfect. So you have a hammer, you have a level. I'm going to just tell you, you have little hardware, a flashlight, just all the things that you need if you get jewelry or you get eyeglasses or you get a new bike, the little hex keys. So I really thought of everything, you know, interchangeable screwdriver to make women feel self-sufficient in their home, and they can do it with style. So these come in pink and they also come in,
love that.
Leopard.
I love that. And you know what's so cool? It's so cool that you are making, because like a lot of people, you know, they associate construction with misogyny and just a male dominating business, and the fact that you've taken and said no, women can do this too and women can make it sexy is what I love about it, because it makes me want to be more handy when I'm not handy. I'm like, if I have a Barbara K tool bag, then I can do what I need to do as an independent woman.
And that's what this is all about, being empowered, being independent, doing it yourself, not relying on anyone else but yourself. And this gives you, you know, that confidence, the feeling of just self-sufficiency and independence. And we all want to walk around in our heels of steel. This is not an infomercial, love, but
yes,
you know, this is all fitting and tying in to, you know, what I believe, running a construction company in this old boys network with all these, you know, in a male dominated field. I mean, it's tough, sister, let me tell you, but if you have the right tools in life, then you can get your job done.
I love that metaphor. And it's a great gift for like your loved ones, whether it's a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a friend, right? Like just something cool to get for the holidays. It's something different.
Yeah, this is a great holiday gift. It's just priced right. It's $50. You get, you know, 10 tools and a great little bag with a, you know, a little pamphlet from you and yours truly, Diva by Barbara K. And you know what Diva is? DIYVA. It's a little acronym. Do it yourself, Diva, because we all have a little diva in us. So it's really, you know, about that style, being feminine, being sexy, but doing it yourself, knowing how to get shit done. That's what, you know, that's the name of the game.
That's the name of the game.
Saving time and saving money, you know, we don't we don't have a lot of time on our hands, right?
Exactly. And I love that. I want to talk about you building the company and why you got into construction because I find it so fascinating. What made you want to take this industry by the hands, because like you did so well with it.
Well, I feel like, in college, it was two things that I had a eureka moment. One was hearing my mom complain about the contractor that never showed up. And the other was watching an episode of Sex and the City, which we all know and love, when Samantha bought a new apartment and um, she was trying to hang the curtains and she was sick. I don't know if you remember this
I remember
episode.
this.
She was sick. She called the boyfriend and she was like, hey, can you come over and hang my curtains? And the guy was like, well, are you gonna have sex with me? And she was like, I'm sick. And he hung up on her. So there was the last shot of her trying to hang these curtains. And I just thought to myself, no woman should ever be in this position. And a little light bulb went off in my head. And that's when I first came out with this blue toolkit that was like supposed to resemble a Prada bag.
Yes. That's so
I don't
cool.
want to date myself, but that was, 17 years ago. So I was really the pioneer, the trailblazer in this sector of DIY, empowering women. And when I had these two eureka moments, I literally stood outside in a shopping center with my business cards that I made for $60 at Minuteman Press. And I grew up in the Bronx, but I went to the most wealthiest area of Scarsdale, and I stood outside in the shopping center and I went up to women and I handed my business cards. This was before emails and all that stuff. Handing out business cards, painting, fixing doorknobs, hanging pictures, all the things that you wish, you're like a genie. Let me close my eyes and poof, they're done. So that's what I did. And then we would call at my parents' house, and my mom would be like, Barbara, it's Mrs. Birnbaum from Scarsdale, New York. She said you're going to seal her cracked driveway. I was like, yeah, Ma, that's for me. I'm going to do this job. And she's like, oh, what are you up to? And she always saw me as like kind of a hustler, like this girl from the Bronx. I'm trying to like hustle some. And I was literally finding the tradesman that would seal and fix the cracked driveway. And he would say, okay, this is good. I would take him to the job site. Okay, this is going to cost $250. And I would charge them $350. And that's how I started. Very small, very elementary. And then who knew that it was going to grow into $100 million empire?
That is so incredible. I know because nobody realizes it. And I was going to ask you, did people tell you, or your parents or your friends, like, Barbara, this is crazy. Like, what are you doing? It's a male dominant industry. Are you going to make money with it? Because also people don't realize you are helping in a way. You're a decorator, meaning not just a decorator, but construction. People in construction are making a whole lifestyle for somebody. It's from A to Z. It's not just like getting the roofer and you know what I mean? So take us through that part of the whole
Yeah,
situation.
girl, you hit the nail on the head. Let me tell you, every day, my parents wanted to call a psychiatrist because they thought I was completely nuts. My mom was a school teacher, my dad was an engineer, and they are telling me, you get a paycheck every week. Somebody pays you a salary and you go to work for 40 hours a week. I did not come, when I came out of my mother's vagina, I did not come out with that mentality. I came out with the mentality like, okay, where's the sledgehammer? Let me go to work. I just have always worked, you know? And so I always pushed the envelope. I was like the underdog, the black sheep of the family. Like I just never I always went to the beat of my own drum. I wanted to play drums. I wanted to be in a rock and roll band.
I
Like
love
all
it.
of that. Like I wanted tattoos all over me, even though I didn't get them. And so when I decided to and I have a degree in finance, when I decided to do this, it wasn't like I started to make money right away. It was just I was making $50 here, $100 there. But let me tell you, I never stopped. I was so determined to prove everyone wrong because everyone said, till this day, even, you cannot do it. This is a 99% male dominated field. You're like the only one in New York City that has literally founded a construction company, a commercial construction company, and has been able to grow it into a multi-million dollar business in the toughest city in New York City. Everybody tells me it's impossible, but you have to use those little sound bites, that people give you, like, oh, it's impossible, oh, you'll never do it. And sometimes someone like me can take that and you put it in your head and you spin it around and you prove them wrong, and you do everything you can because you have that fear of failure and that sense of urgency, and you are going to prove every single one of those people wrong. And that's what I did.
I love that. That's exactly why we love you, because you inspire us to not give up. Because a lot of times we want to give up. Even in, I've told you this in comedy, there's a lot of times where it's competitive and people telling you you're not funny, you're not this. So I like to look at women like you to see that you've conquered the impossible, and now we're here. And you have 3 books. I mean, let's talk about those books too, because that's hard to do too. Going from construction into being an author, how did that
Yeah.
come about? How did Heels of Steels come about?
So Heels of Steel is really, it's truly my labor of love. And, there's nothing more than my mission is to make this into a TV series, which, and of course, Jennifer Lopez is playing me, because who else would play me? Jenny from the Bronx, Barbie from the Bronx. Um,
And Barb's, if there's ever an extra part for your girl here, any comedy,
oh, honey, you
please.
are there. I can easily fit you in.
Thank you.
You are
Stay
there.
tuned.
Um,
But go on, yeah.
yeah. So Heels of Steel is really a labor of love, because when you have so much in your brain, and I don't know about you, but I have to get it out. The only thing in high school that I was good at was writing. I wrote for the Post. I don't think a lot of people know this, but I wrote for
Wow.
the New York as a columnist in the real estate section for 6 years. I had a DIY column from 2007 to 2012. So I wrote all about different how-to DIY projects, and I even had like a little celebrity column, and I would go around interviewing like Lala Anthony and different celebrities on how they get their fix in their home. So this was a novel based on my story, of a young girl, Jewish girl from the Bronx, starting a construction company, and all the things that happened to her. And it's not a memoir, because I didn't want to like get killed while I was walking down Fifth Avenue. I didn't want to throw anybody under the bus, but I was able to put a lot of the things that happened to me in the almost 20 years of being in the construction industry in this book, and how I got married. I got married to a guy that was this hot man who was in construction, and we had a kid, and he ended up really disappointing me and just getting divorced, and how I rose from the ashes of building this business, going bankrupt, which I did, and rebuilding my company. A lot of people don't know that too, that this wasn't smooth sailing all the way, going bankrupt and being able to rise above that and learn from my experiences, and never ever take no for an answer or give up. I saw the brick wall in front of me. I saw that concrete wall. And let me tell you, chipping through it, not easy, but I was able to chip through it because I didn't give up. And that's really what I profess to everyone. Do not give up, because there is light at the end. Through that wall, you will find success. Just don't cut yourself off. Once you stop, once you quit, that's it, you're done. If you don't quit, and you keep chipping away, you're going to find success. Either you're going to find success in your core business, you will find success also in extensions of your business, whether it's books, whether it's tools, whether it's TV, but stay true to who you believe, what you believe. Stay passionate, and your knowledge, and that what's deep inside your heart. You can go in different extensions of the business, but stay true to who you are. And that's what I've always done.
I love that. That's incredible. Any tips for the women who are divorced out there and starting over, or women like me who are single and just can't really get I don't know, something about being in a relationship with men in general. For me, it's been hard, I think, just because the career gets in the way or it becomes a conflict or a guy tells you he likes you, but then in the end, he just wanted to be your friend. It's like all these stuff. Like, what's your advice out there to navigate the dating world?
I say renovate your date, baby. You know, renovate your date. Look, if you find someone that you can gel with, that you can vibe with, but he might be intimidated by you. He might not understand what you're trying to do, your ambitions, your success. But you feel like there might be a connection. I say renovate your date. How do you renovate your date? Okay. There might be some things in his world that has led him to low self-esteem or not feeling good about himself, or being intimidated. These are all things that I go through. Men are intimidated by me all the time. Like I want to get a home run and I can't even get to first base, because they're like, what? You ran for mayor? You were on Housewives? Holy shit, but hold on, let me tell you about the real me. The real me that when I'm at home and, when I'm not working and I'm not trying to kill it and, really trying to focus, give my energy for, some point of my day to him to really understand what makes him tick and, what makes him uncomfortable and how can I help him to do better, to make it not all about me. So if you start to like spread your love and spread, you know, what you have, because what you have, Chanel, and what I have is very rare, and sometimes people need what we have, so if we give it to them, they might turn the corner a little bit and change who they are. And I try and do that. I try and spread a little bit of my Tinkerbell magic to other people because not everyone can be, an entrepreneur. Not everyone can do well in business. People are good at different things, and that's why you have to realize what you're good at and then focus on that and try and grow that.
I love that. Yeah, because a lot of women are writing us in like, what do I do when I'm devastated, I'm divorced and I can't really think about dating. I mean, what would be your first tip for divorced women out there to get back in the dating game?
So good for you that you got divorced. Good for you. The plan, whether you were in a unhappy marriage, whether you were in an unsafe marriage, there's a reason that you are where you are. I think all women, whether they are in a marriage or they're not in a marriage, should be self-sufficient. You should always work. You should always be passionate about something. You should always make money because you never know, girl, when the shit's going to hit the fan. When somebody's going to lose their money, when someone's going to find that younger girl, you know, always have something to fall back on. So now that you're divorced, what is it that you want to do? What is it that you've always dreamt of? What is it that you're passionate about? What is it that has, gotten in your head, but you're too afraid to take that next step? And that's when I say, talk to people, talk to someone like me, talk to someone like you, people that have been there, that have done that understand the challenges, that understand what it takes to be able to take baby steps that lead to bigger and more successful steps in your life. So that where you can start to realize some of the fruits of your labor, that you, and even when I was a young girl, just starting out in the business, when I made $50, it might as well have been $50 million because I did it. I made it. I earned it. So once you start to earn a little bit of money, the confidence will start to build. So I tell people, start small. Don't, think that you're going to kill it. Don't think that people that you watch, whether you, the papers have just started doing this. They've been at it for years. They've been at it for, 10 years, 20 years, and grinding and really, working at it and working at their game. And just like me, this didn't happen overnight.
Right.
but
And you're still working.
I
You're
believe,
still hustling.
oh yeah, every day I get up. I don't take one day off. I could be, I had my booster shot the other day, and let me tell you, I was sick from the booster shot. And I put on, and even though I worked from home, I put on like my Parker, like I was like freezing. I was on my Zoom calls. So do what you gotta do to get it done. Don't give up. Don't be don't be lazy. Communicate. Get out there. Be disciplined. Be motivated. Be determined. Be all those things that you need to be successful.
I love
It's not easy.
It's not easy, right? And that's the thing that everybody needs to know. First is it's okay that it's going to be hard and it's okay that's going to take time. And you're right, people should be talking to people like you and people who have been through it, have been through the ups and downs. I mean, even, what are you working on now too? Are you working on a new book as well?
So I did start writing a sequel to Heels of Steel. It's actually coming slow. I signed a deal with a production company, though, a very large production company that actually was the creator of Housewives of New Jersey,
Wow.
Lucella D'Agostino from Big Fish. Yeah, so I signed a production deal with her. So we are trying to get my own TV show. Hopefully, it'll happen in 22.
Oh, I can't
But that would
wait. I
that would
can't
be my
wait.
dream. That would be my dream. And also getting, some type of, it's hard. We are pitching this has been pitched as a TV series, as a movie. It's not easy to get a book made into a movie or a TV series, but that is something that I also aspire to happen. But 2022, I'm hoping to have a TV show. That's, keep your fingers crossed.
Congrats, Mazal Tov. Well, I'll be the first one, Barbara, to be cheering you on because everybody's saying we need Barbara Kay. We need more Barbara Kay. I mean, on the Housewives, we're gonna go now talk about Real Housewives of New York City and your experience. I gotta tell you, you were one of our favorites, and you really
Aw.
took a liking to the audience, and I think we liked your honesty right away and your badass, directness. It's challenging and hard in a crowd of women like that for somebody new to come in and be direct and not be scared to have consequences of like, okay, this person might not like me. So, how was your experience in general being on that show?
Well, I think the women perceive me, and I think who said it, rough around the edges. Maybe Ramona said it during one of the confessionals, and I am. Somebody just called me. My CFO said I was rough around the edges. I am rough around the edges. I'm from the Bronx. I
Right.
went to the public school system. You don't get to do that without being rough around the edges. You don't get to be in construction, be a business owner, an entrepreneur in New York City without getting that thick skin. So yeah, am I someone that while I was filming full time, I worked full time? So, when you have 26 people that are on your payroll and you're every week having to come up with X amount of dollars, and you have clients and you're building enterprises, not only are you building residential projects, but you're building large corporate, for and I can't say a lot of the names of my clients, but they're large companies, large landlords um, that rely on a company like mine to get the projects done, because corporations are moving into these spaces. Okay, so I have a huge responsibility to not only the people that I employ that feed their families, but to make sure that the people that I'm building the projects for, get their rent paid, are moving into their spaces, are able to collect revenue if it's a retail store, and their businesses operating. So it's a huge responsibility. So when filming, I had that on my brain all the time. And the some of the things that I had to deal with felt very immature, and it felt like it was sometimes a waste of time to be talking or writing about manicure, so, or things like that. And I think when I was on, I got very heavily involved with my then girlfriend, who will remain nameless at the time, who I had a 14-year friendship with, who I believe was like my sister. And, when I drew a line in the sand to protect her on the show, I think that alienated a lot of the women. And if I had to do it over again, I would have done it differently.
What would you have done differently with that situation, do you think?
I wouldn't have spent the first probably six episodes fighting for her and trying to her while alienating the other women and getting to know them. I should have just worried about myself, and forging the relationships with these women the way I should have. I think at the end I would have been a lot better off. And I think I would have come out a lot stronger. And maybe I still would have had the friendship with her. I don't know. Um, but I definitely would have approached it differently. I wish I would have known a little bit more about the show. Like, shame on me for really not watching enough episodes, maybe, and learning. But also shame on her for not taking me under her wing to really teach me and guide me through that process.
I love that. Yeah. I mean, and yeah, and because it almost felt like you were more protecting some of the women too when you came in and you just had met them. I know you were friends with Luann. Like, how did, first season we see you guys like bonding. Second season, there was some, you know, issues, as every friendship goes through. Where do you guys stand now? And how did that, if you want to clarify anything with that friendship?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, we're no longer friends, which is sad because
Sad.
we had a 14-year sisterhood. And it's always unfortunate when a friendship has to end. But then you also have to look at a friendship like that and say, was it ever a friendship? Because friendships that are true and that stand the test of time, I don't think would fall apart from a show like that. And so I think I was a very loyal friend to her. I was a great friend to her. I was more than a friend, I was like family. And I did things for her that her own family wouldn't do for her. So I think I was treated unfairly. I think the punishment did not fit the crime. And again, I have to look at that friendship and say, you know what? I was a great friend and maybe she wasn't to me and it's just not worth it. And you move on. And it's sad, but it's like a divorce. You move on.
I love that because I'm going through that too with friends in general. You feel like you're not doing that much, you don't do anything wrong, and there's always a constant, whether it's jealousy or competitiveness. That's what I write it
Yeah.
off as, because what else can it be if someone keeps on trying to get mad at you or fight with you or not want to be your friend or do things that are not right
Exactly.
to you?
You have to know like who's an opportunist. Like there's a lot of opportunists out there. I want a friend to be a friend, not because of maybe access I can get them or things that I might be able to do, but really like at the end of the day, who's going to be there? How are we going to be there for each other when the shit hits the fan? Are you going to be there for me when I'm broke, when I'm down and out? That's the type of friendship I want because that's the type of person I am. I'm loyal and consistent. And at the end of the day, you can say whatever you want about me, but I'm a damn good friend.
Yes, you are. And yes, you are, because you even showed up to my comedy show, which you didn't have to. My birthday, you were there for me. You were having fun, and like it was just amazing to see like what kind of friend that you are on and off camera. Like, you're not full of shit. You're real. You're the real deal. I love that. And
Yeah,
everyone
I
who's
am.
listening needs to be a good friend. It's not always about you all the time. Meaning, people don't always have to be selfish or have an agenda to be there for someone. It doesn't have to be
Yeah, it's really
transactional.
sad. Yeah, I mean, it's sad to see people that are so narcissistic that can't seem to get out of their own way and they're so self-centered and you can't even have a conversation. You can't have a back and forth because it's only about them. And I think as you get older in life and get more mature, you have limited time and you have to realize like who's important in your life and who do you want to surround yourself with. And I believe that if you're a good person like Chanel, you're a great person and I'm a great person, you want to surround yourself with those types of people.
Yeah, I love that. Let's also talking about another great friend of yours and mine who's a positive energy and a lot of fun, Ebony K. Williams, who joined the Housewives this season. What did you think? I know you guys are close. What did you think of her joining? And how do you think about the whole season playing out this season with her and all the drama happening and the stories and
I got one word for her. She's a
yeah,
boss. She's a boss, she really is. I mean, I don't say that word lightly because people call me a boss. And
yes.
I don't think of there's one other person besides Ebony in my life that I would call a boss as well. That happens to be Lucella D'Agostino that owns Big Fish. She's a boss as well. But Ebony is a badass. She says it like it is. You don't have to try and figure it out. What did she mean? No, she lays it on she serves it to you on a fucking platter. Here it is. I love that type of person. I think, listen, they needed a black housewife years ago. Like they need a Latina housewife. They need an Asian housewife from New York. I mean, look where we live. Running for mayor of New York City, you know, I knew this, and like being from the Bronx, like I said, you grow up with all types of people. This is where we live. We're in New York City. We're in a melting pot of amazing, creative, wonderful cultures. And why not display that on Real Housewives of New York? It doesn't make sense to me why they hadn't done it. And yeah, is she outspoken? Oh, hell yeah. But there's a good reason for her being outspoken. Is it and do people not like her because she's so damn smart? Maybe they don't know what to say to her, because she's very smart, and maybe they don't know how to react. Maybe they don't know what to say. Like when people talk to me, like they're, sometimes it looks like, I'm running rings around them. And that's what she's doing. She's running rings around people. So, so how do people react? They react by saying, oh, well, she's this, well, she's that. It's just a defense mechanism because they're not as smart as her. They don't know how to handle it. They don't know what to say. But I think she's a badass. I think she's lovely. I think she's caring. I think she's sweet. And I think she makes a great housewife.
I love that. And what do you think about not having a reunion? Because you were able to go to the reunion, there's been always a reunion. Now that there isn't, what did you think about them not having a reunion this year?
I think that really sends a strong message, like, get your shit together or we're gonna, shut it down. And that's what they did. And, I hear what you hear, that they didn't have a reunion because Ramona had said racist comments. Do I believe it? Fuck yeah, I believe that. Ramona was a total bitch to me. Even when the cameras were off, she was a bitch. So do I believe that, she said those things? 100%. I think she's just a very sad individual.
Why do you think her behavior's enabled by the network in general, by people, the public? Why is she still a long running? Because I mean, if I ever did that, I mean, I don't think I would last with that behavior. I don't think a lot of people would last on
Nobody
TV.
would.
No, nobody
Nobody
would.
would.
What is
I
it about
think,
her that she's always having a pass for all these? It's not even just a little thing; it's these horrible things. And mind you, she wasn't the kindest to me either, on and off camera. I don't know what her
yeah, I
issue
mean,
is.
it's not one issue. I met her even before I was on the show. I've met her 8 times, and she would say, "What's your name? Who are you?" And I would be introduced as Luann's friend. One time we were in the Hamptons and we were dancing, Luann and I, and Ramona had come around. And again, this is pre me being on the Housewives. And she said to Luann, and I heard it loud and clear, "What is she doing here?" She. It's just who she is, and the enabling of this behavior just for the reason of entertainment, to get a rise out of people because of the drama she creates. It's really, listen, Housewives and Bravo and all networks need ratings. They need ratings because they need advertisers. So without that, they don't have the advertisers and they don't have the money to pay, and the cast members, and the show isn't successful. So they need that. they need, to have her written up in the press. Oh, Ramona's done this, and and she's apologized again. So it's really, the network's responsibility to shut it down. And unfortunately, they won't shut it down because the fans want it. So is it the fans' fault and the network's fault together? And it raises concern to me, because look at where we are in the world. Look at the shooting that just happened in Michigan. There's so many things that I just cry about, that happened in New York City, like the guy from Columbia University that just got stabbed in the back. And, there's just so many things that happen in a day that are so sad in this town. And, the in this country, over the past 2 years. I mean, we all know what they are. Um, so if a network doesn't shut this down and fans don't say I've had enough, then it's going to continue.
I
And
see.
unfortunately, she makes good TV. I mean, I know a lot of people that never want to see Ramona go because of what she does. You never know what's going to come out of her mouth, but she is authentically mean and nasty on TV and off TV. That is who she is.
That's the one thing she could take to her grave. Hey, I was
Absolutely.
very mean on and off camera. I was
Yeah.
consistent.
She doesn't care.
She
She
doesn't care.
doesn't care.
And do you
No.
think,
And you can't change.
what'd you say? Sorry, say that again.
You can't change someone. She'll never change. She could apologize 1,000 times. She doesn't mean the apologies.
Right.
It's just that, oh, I'm sorry. She doesn't care.
She doesn't care. That's what the public doesn't realize too. She will be fine with or without Housewives. She has just
Yes.
that personality of like, she's blocked it somehow psychologically. It would be fascinating as a psychiatrist to deep delve where that all comes from, how you
Well,
can be so
she said,
disconnected.
yeah, I mean, she said it. I remember even on one of our cast trips, I think we went to Luann's house during the dinner. I mean, she went into her family life, and she wasn't close to her father. I'm not sure what the situation with her mother is and her siblings, but she didn't have a childhood that you would write home about, that you would put in any kind of story, so that you'd want to read. So I think a lot of that has to do with the parents and her upbringing, and it's sad and unfortunate. It's sad and unfortunate, but you cannot give her a pass anymore, because if she really cared about changing, she would have gotten help. She would have, tried to change authentically and turn the corner and made herself a better person, but she hasn't. And so, as far as I'm concerned, she's dead to me. Like, she is a reason that I would not watch Housewives.
Well, I was gonna say, would she be a reason? Like, would people want to see you return? Now, would you return to the next season, the rebrand? Because I would like to see you. I mean, you have an authentic relationship with Ebony. Yes, there are some issues with you and Luann. We would probably want to see you guys hash that out. I mean, would you return if Ramona returned? Would you not return if Ramona returned? Would you return at all? I mean, how do you see this all play out?
I mean, listen, it's really up to the producers. Never say never. But I don't know if I was enough drama for them. I'm like more the voice of reason and the rational one. I mean, I do have a tendency, which nobody got to see, to drink a little and run around naked. I might, but actually, I wouldn't have done that because of my son. My son would have like really not like that. But I don't think people got to see the fun and party side of me, which I can get to be, because I felt like I was always fighting and trying to defend myself. And it got so tiring, that I feel like I lost my way. I felt like I lost my way on the show. But if I had to do it all over again, I would have come from a different position, and you would see a very, very different person.
Ooh, well,
So never
yeah,
say never.
never say never. I
You would
kind
have
of
seen you would have seen more of the Bronx girl come out in me. Yeah.
we would have, and we love that. We love that. And why not? Now that you're such an established career woman, it's okay to let your hair down sometimes because that's how we can relate. Because I think we all have dual, right? Dual qualities. Like we all have the
Yeah.
The girl in the streets, or whatever, the freak in the bed and in the sheets, that whole saying.
A freak in the bed. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know
I
what
think
I'm saying?
everybody needs like, yeah, I think everybody needs also like someone like me really needed a second season. But Luann definitely shut it down, like that whole thing with the hot that second hot mic moment and me telling her she didn't sing like Adele. She put an end to that with the producers. So she definitely squashed that. So
Well, never say never because it's what the fans want. So
never say
hopefully,
never.
who are you the closest with? You would say people want to know at this stage. Like, who did you stay in touch with the most?
Elise from season 12, Blaine.
Love Elise. Oh my God, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, we're really good friends. I mean, she's a she's a true friend. She will be a friend for the rest of my life. She's been there for me. She's a great mom. She's a good nurse. She took care of me when I was sick. She's a great wife. She's a great mom dog. And I love her. I really love Elise. She's proved to be a great friend.
I love that. Well, we did talk about well, Leah, one more question I think the audience wants to know. What are your thoughts, I guess, on Leah? Do you feel that she should return? Is she, they're saying about casting younger and that really her age group would be the new Housewives, but a lot of people are saying that Housewives was based on, women like all of you who have had careers and established and aren't just partying. I mean, what are your thoughts about her, about returning, about the whole new casting?
I don't have a lot to say about Leah. I've met her a couple times. Um, I would rather refrain from talking about her.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, that's probably best. We should.
Yeah.
We don't have. Okay, well, a couple more questions. We're gonna wrap up because I know you have to go. You're very busy. Mental health is very important on this podcast. Talk to us a little bit about when things get overwhelming. How do you balance everything? What do you do? What are some tips you could share with us how to cope with our mental health and not allow it to overtake our day?
Yeah, I mean, mental health is probably the number one priority to me. I have a son that has suffered depression for years. So I am very concerned about him. Luckily, I don't suffer from mental health, but I have a lot of people around me that do. My ex-husband did. I have a number of friends that did. I was actually just talking to an employee of mine that I said, listen, there's some things that you're not doing well is there something that we can address that is affecting your way of thinking? Is there something, in your personal life at home? So we had a half-hour discussion, 45-minute discussion. So mental health is very important to me because it affects everything that you do. It affects your job, it affects your home life. And I'm always very aware of people's mental health, especially if they're medicating themselves, if they're drinking too much, if they're, taking too much, if they're medicating themselves. What I do and what works for me to keep myself sane in this very hectic and insane life we live in is working out. Okay. I know that sounds crazy, but if you release endorphins when you break a sweat, when you get your heart rate up, when you pump iron, I can't tell you the way that it affects your mood, the way it affects my mood. I just told someone I would I want them to join a gym. I will pay for it. I promote mental health by let's go to the gym every day and sweat, and it releases these toxins in your brain and it makes you eat better. Eating healthier is very important. Like, don't eat McDonald's every day because it has just so many things in it that is going to like stick to your gut, weigh you down, and that affects your brain. So watch what you put in your body. Watch what how, if you work out. I work out at Barry's boot camp. I sweat at least 4 times a week. I do SLT. I try and eat healthy. I'm not saying I'm perfect. Like I have my cheat days, but I try and eat healthy. I try and surround myself with positive, good people that are like-minded, that promote me, that make me feel good about myself, that don't hurt my self-esteem. And And I say that, surround yourself with positive people as well. So surrounding yourself with good people that are positive, that could be mentors to you, that you can mentor to them, like mentor people, that makes me feel great when I help people, so not only sucking, I don't only want the energy sucked out of me, I want to give back energy, so I don't only want to take, I want to give. That helps. Working out, eating right, all of those things help mental health.
I love that. Also, what's your favorite place for the Chanel in the City audience? We always talk about people's favorite places in New York City where they like to go to escape or eat. What would you say is your favorite place?
To eat,
Yeah,
God, I love food so much. I
me
can't
too.
even handle it. I am like, this is what I do. I'm on TikTok all the time. I send myself, I'm not exaggerating, Chanel, myself at least 5 messages from my TikTok account, from my For You page.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's so many places I love. I just joined Zero Bond in New York City, which I absolutely love. It's a private club. But these are some of the places that I set myself that I love. Okay. Via Carotto, I love. Bubby's, I love for brunch. Like their pancakes are amazing. Woo's Wonton King, love. What else do I love? Mono, I love. Oh, Breakfast by Salt, Cure on 7th Avenue, love. I have to write them all down because I forget.
That's
So
amazing.
there's just so many. What else do I love? I love Indochine. I love um, Bond Street Sushi. Oh God, there's so many
Oh, you and
things
me
that
have to go to Bond Street Sushi. I gotta take you there. We gotta just have like a
oh,
girls' night. Oh, I love Bonds. That is.
I'm so, and then we'll
I,
go to Zero Bond after
let's
for
do that.
drink.
I feel like such a snob sometimes, even ordering in on. I ordered Bond Street. That's how much I love it on DoorDash, and they're like, "You're gonna order one roll for $30. You're out of your mind." I'm like,
I
ugh.
know, I know, I know. I ordered dim sum last night on
Me too.
DoorDash, and like a gazillion dollars for like, you know, balls of, meat. I love dim sum though,
I love
so.
dim sum too. Yeah, I love that. That's so good. Oh
But
my
I
god.
want to go to Chinatown. Like I love going. Like that's why I live in New York City because I love the different areas like Little Italy, Chinatown, Hell's Kitchen, Harlem. I mean, all these places. I mean, you can visit the world in New York City.
Wow, that was so beautifully said and so profound because it's so true. The other night I was like, why do I love this city so much? It's just a taste of everything. That's really what
Yeah,
it feels like. Like you're
it
in a
really
different
is.
country every day.
Now I'm just hoping that the next mayor can really clean it up so we
Well,
don't have crime and chaos that we.
okay, that's a great. I wanted to touch base because you ran for mayor, which I feel like you should be the mayor. I hope you run again. Can you
I
run
think
again?
I
I don't know
will.
the. Please, because I'll vote for you. We need a woman in power, first of all. We need someone smart who's really going to know people's needs, not the bullshit of the politics. What do you think
Yeah,
about the mayor now, and what do you think we need to do to change this whole thing, or whatever is going on? I mean,
yeah.
there's just so much going on.
I mean, de Blasio was obviously, for me, the worst mayor in history. I mean, he did nothing. There was no comprehensive plan for anything. During COVID, what did he do? He put all the homeless in 63 hotels around New York City and spent about $400 million when he could have had a plan in place to rehabilitate the homeless in what I would put together like a camp, okay, a camp that would have counselors to teach them how to get jobs, how to go to work, how to how to use tools, how to repair cars, how to teach them like really useful information so they can go and be an auto mechanic, go and be a carpenter. Carpenters and auto mechanics and plumbers and electricians make a ton of money. I know because I pay them, so why not learn these trades? So I would have taken all these people that are, chemically dependent, that are homeless, whatever the situations are, and created a place for them to come back into society. That's number one. Crime. if Granny is on the street and her bag is getting stolen by a thug, that guy is going to jail. No doubt about it. He's not getting out. He's going to jail for Granny falling down and stealing her bag. So it's like, get serious about crime. Um, get serious about the homeless situation, get serious about small business, get serious about promoting women and minority owned businesses. Have these corporations put in um, compliance departments so that it is mandatory that they give a certain amount of business, not only from the city level, okay, but from the corporate level, that they give a certain amount of their spend, their capital expenditures to women, to minority owned businesses. I don't care what the industry is. I don't care if you're selling paper. I don't care if you're doing PR. I don't care what it is, but you're getting work from these corporations. Okay. That's what I would have done right off the bat.
I love that. No, and I seriously feel like, oh, I hope. When can you run again? When does that
In
like
four
how
years, because we got.
all right, well, honey, I will be on your campaign and on your and I will
Thank
push
you.
it and I will
Yes.
work whatever because I really think I know you well. So I mean, I don't no one knows anybody that well, but I'm saying from what I know that you have that heart that you want to make a change. And that's what we have to start with. De Blasio, it's not like he really cares. It doesn't seem like he cares to make a change because if he did, then we would have seen them by now. He's had so many years. I mean, he's
Yeah.
been in office over 8 years right now, like
Yeah.
almost.
He didn't care. He didn't care. I think you're right. You hit the nail on the head. Like, you have to have a heart. You have to really care about the people. You have to know the people. You have to, like I tell everyone, I run a business. I have to go out onto my job sites and actually see what's going on. I never see that guy, walking the streets of New York City. You need to walk these streets and you need to see with your own eyes what is going on here. How can I fix it? How can I make it better? I mean, balls to the walls. He didn't do anything. And that's, what I would do. That's what I would have done as mayor. I would have actually, put together different committees to make sure that things would have gotten done the way they, not get caught in red tape, not talk a lot about nothing, but actually implemented plans, like micro plans in each of my committees to get things done. So
That's
in 2 years, I'll start again, Chanel, and then I'll get you on my
please.
campaign committee.
I would love to. I would love to work with you, and just I think you'd make a fantastic mayor. And you heard it. I mean, you've heard it here. You've heard it everywhere. I think you'd be an amazing mayor. I think you're a boss woman. I think you're amazing. I'm inspired by you all the time. I'm inspired by you on a daily. I think that if we all look at your life and we see how you don't give up and you don't make excuses, it's almost like in my head the other day I was like, what would Barbara Kay do? I really swear I do that. I'm like, I don't have the time or can afford not saying no, right? Or having people say no to me because we're living in a society where we're hanging by a thread. I think survival. We're in
Yeah.
survival mode. And so that's why I'm like, I'm so thankful and grateful to have you as a friend, to have you as a colleague, to have you like on my show. It's an experience. It's an amazing
Well,
experience.
you know what? That means the world to me, and I can't thank you enough for having me on. And congrats on all your success. I mean, you're funny as hell, and I want to come to your next show,
Please,
and
we
I won't
want you
storm the
involved. We want you on the stage the next show. Guys, Barbara Kay will be. We're going to do a comedy bit together because you're funny, Barbara. You're funny too. You were making
stage. I mean, I guess I can be kind of funny. I like to make people laugh. So
Yeah.
if you led the way, and I could be like your little, you know, I don't know, what is it like? Is it a protege that I would be, or you would
Yeah,
be?
yeah.
I don't know.
You could come in and do the bit with us, like with the house.
Yeah.
I think a housewife comedy bit would be amazing. I think people want to see you guys get on stage, and no, and I'm so appreciative of the support. Anything you want to let us know where you see yourself, like in 5 years. I know that's a question probably you get asked a lot, but like, what do you want to conquer? You would think since you've conquered so much.
I mean, I definitely want to be someone that continues to be a trailblazer in this industry, in the construction industry. I want to um, mentor and promote and inspire other women to get their feet in this industry, whether as a tradeswoman, as an electrician, a plumber, a steam fitter, an owner of a construction company, an engineer, whatever it is, I want them to know that if I can do it, you can do it. I want them to know that I will do anything possible to continue to inspire women to be able to break barriers, to break through the glass ceiling, not only in this industry, but in any industry. And I'm going to continue to be responsible, to be reliable, to be a businesswoman that people can look up to, and a friend that people can call, because what's, just to be someone that's a badass boss, but not someone that you can pick up the phone and say, hey, what do you think of this? And, be a sounding board. I want to be that sounding board for other women, as, as years go on. I want to, be an inspiration, continue to be an inspiration to my son, Zach, who is like the most important person in my world, and to be a great mom. That's always been number one for me. I want to continue to write another book. I want to have a TV show. I want to have a Heels of Steel TV series. And then, I don't know, I want to travel a little and lay by the beach and work on my tan.
I love it. I love that. We have a question, two questions of the audience that before we always wrap up, they want to know. We have Sally from Ohio who says, Barbara Kay, I love you. I want you back on the Housewives of New York ASAP, or your own show, which stay tuned because Barbara Kay just signed on to one. What are your thoughts on the Erica Jane situation? I feel like we haven't heard from a housewife as a boss as yourself who's been through divorce, who's had her own money. Do you believe that Erica knew this whole time? What would you do if you were her?
I think she's in hot water. I know a lot about the law. I know a lot about misappropriation of funds. I know that she owned a company where she accepted money into a company. As when you sign your name as an owner of a company, whether you're president, executive, there's a responsibility, whether it's in writing or not in writing, that you are responsible to know the finances of your company and where the money is coming from. Okay. That's why I'm here present in my office every day. If somebody gave me $1 million and it came from an illegal source, I would need to know and return that money. So no, I don't buy it.
That's honest.
Unfortunately, she's responsible for accepting the money, as an owner of a company that she accepted money into an LLC, or I think it was an LLC, or whatever type of company it was. And from my perspective, that was not her money. It was other people's money that they were awarded for legal reasons. I don't know all the legalities to that, but it's not her money. She took money that was not hers, so she needs to give that money back.
Right. And do you think that she should have been showcasing this on the Housewives of Beverly Hills this entire time, or do you think that it's going to hurt her?
If it were me, I wouldn't have, but that's just me. When you sign on as a housewife, you sign on to air the good, the bad, and the ugly. I mean, it's the same as Jen Shaw, right? She's got a case too, different, but she's got a case that she has to contend with. I wouldn't have done it. I don't know the answer whether it will hurt her or not, but I can tell you that if I were a lawyer for the plaintiff side, I would comb the hours and hours and hours of footage and ask for all the footage, whether it made it onto TV or it didn't make it onto TV, to make sure I would have the strongest defense.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's good that we heard from you, because I feel like you're the only person who has a lot of experience who can speak on that, out of a lot of the housewives.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but I can tell you I've had a lot of legal experience, and I've dealt with lawyers my entire career, and I think I have a lot more experience. I would say out of all the housewives, I have a lot more business experience
Yeah.
than anyone.
Yes.
And I will say that even more than Bethany, because I'm actually running a multi-million-dollar company that's, every day churning money, with employees, 26 employees, and literally hundreds of subcontractors that I am employing and paying. So it's a huge responsibility, and it's a lot of money coming in and a lot of money coming out every week.
I love that. Yeah, it is different, right? Because you're really like you can do without TV. You can run this business. You don't need like entertainment in order to run a very successful business, which I love.
Right.
Which is most of us reality stars in general, we strive for that because you don't want to be a one-hit wonder, because that also, you know, that's what the next question is from Samantha from
Yeah.
California. How do you, if you on our reality star, or if you are in a reality show for one season, how do you make the most of it, and how do you not be canceled? I guess, like, how do you make something out of yourself? She's probably trying to ask further than that.
Well, I think the most important thing is to make sure you have something prior to coming on to a reality show. I mean, there's two ways you can do it. A lot of women come on to reality TV and they're able to parlay it into small businesses, maybe licensing businesses. And then once you're off TV, unless you have a very, very, very strong foundation and a huge consumer base, you will not be able to create the sales that you need, get the sales that you need. That's one way to do it. The other way is to already have a strong business and already have the books and already have been on TV, which I've had all. I had a multi-million-dollar construction company. I had a show on the We Network on 2005. A long time ago. I like to say circa 2005. I had, my books. Hills of Steel was already being published. My two other books were already out. I already had my line of tools for women. So there was nowhere to go for me but up. So if I was able to have this business prior, TV was only going to propel it and give me a larger platform than I already had, which it did. So now that I have the platform of being on Housewives, which is huge. I mean, Housewives is a great franchise. It's a great show. People love it. It's pop culture. So I can use that now, and people really know my name. And so now that they don't only know that, oh, she's been on Housewives, oh, she has a line of tools. Oh, she even has a construction company. The construction company is the nucleus for everything I do. So if I want to have a TV show that's in home improvement or DIY or, renovation, or I have a lot of other show ideas, like if I wanted to be if I wanted to be the Judge Judy of the contracting world, I can do that because I have the experience. I have the knowledge. So that, like I said earlier, knowledge is power, and know your craft, hone in on your craft. And once you have that foundation, the sky's the limit.
I love that. That is incredible. We're going to end on that note. Barbara Kay, thank you so much for being on Chanel in the City. We love you. Where can everybody follow you? Where can everybody find you? And where can we buy these incredible kits? Because I need to buy some for some holidays.
So you can find, of course, on Instagram at Miss Barbara Kay. That's MS Barbara Kay. You can buy my books on Amazon. I think they're still at Barnes and Noble. Toolkits on Amazon and barbarakay.com, or you can go on to Instagram. You can find me also on Twitter and TikTok. Love my TikTok.
We got to do, you know what, Barbara Kay? When we see each other, we got to do a TikTok tool dance. I don't know what. We got to just make something up.
I'm the worst dancer in the world.
DIY dance, a DIY dance by Barbara Kay with Chanel Omari. There we go.
Hey guys, it's Barbara Kay from the Real Housewives of New York City, and you're listening to me with Chanel Omari on Chanel Omari's podcast on iHeartRadio.